How are you, Skull, of deteriorating mental condition?
Oh, well, thank you, apart from the description, yeah.
Oh, that's good. What sort of a week has it been?
Andrew, I have to tell you, this has been a week in sport that we have waited a long time for. Greg Norman finally won a golf tournament.
I don't believe you. What?
Yes, we have footage to prove it. The Canadian Open.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Yes.
And believe it or not, he won in a playoff. And as you know, the Shark and playoffs are mortal enemies.
Yes, that was a very short tournament.
Well, yeah.
No wonder he won. There's no other players.
No, there's one.
Oh, I see.
I get a little bit worried about Greg these days. I've been looking at him, but he used to have that really Aussie look about him.
Yeah.
But now that Akubra seems to have turned into more of a cowboy hat, you know, and I think he's showing signs of a man who's eating too much mayonnaise, I think. And but there could be some significance. I've been thinking about it, and perhaps when he made that fateful decision to spend Thanksgiving at home with his family in the United States, I think maybe he sort of spiritually cast off the last vestiges of being an Australian, and he's got the koala off his back now, you know. He's free to get away from the tall poppy syndrome and go back and win again. So
well,
I think...
sorry, Debbie, I resent this. Greg Norman is Australian, will always be as Australian. He's as Australian as Pine Gap, Northwest Cape or Narungga. I mean, really...
But the good thing is he's finally won a tournament and now we can all get some sleep.
Yes, good on you, Greggy, yes! I tell you what, I think it's the least we can do to do a whip around for Greg and send him a bit of money because he's had lean times these last few years, the old Greg.
2 years without a win.
2 years without $1 million.
Another sort of monumental milestone that was achieved this week with the Australian cricket team coming back from Sri Lanka was the announcement from within the team that they have found an acceptance for Greg Matthews now. That after all these years, they consider him a bit of an outsider, a bit of a rebel, that Alan Border himself has spoken out on behalf of Greg now and he wants to reach out, pull him in, make him part of the team.
But he always was a bit weird, wasn't he? I mean, he did things which are traditionally unacceptable. He wore an earring, he had a weird haircut, he scored runs.
That's right, yeah. Well, and he did something even stranger, would you believe, on this tour, and it still didn't affect the fact that they are accepting him. Apparently, after they won the first test, I'm told that he turned up in the foyer of the hotel they were staying in, carrying a half-empty bottle of champagne and wearing a sarong. Yeah. Now, what I'd like to see, just go a step further now, and I think Alan really needs to demonstrate his acceptance of Greg now, and I'd like to see Alan wearing a sarong as well, because I was thinking maybe... No, but maybe it wouldn't work, because two sarongs wouldn't make a right, would they?
Come on.
I worked hard on that one.
That deserved a bigger boo than that. Let me say. Actually, that would not be advisable, and this is a true story. Mike Brearley, the former captain of the English cricket team, an Oxford-educated man, in an interview with the famous Rupert Murdoch publication, the now dead Daily Mirror, talked about how he liked to wear sarongs and kilts because they were cool in hot weather. They were really good for circulation and comfortable. So what did the Daily Mirror do? They put out a headline saying, "English cricket captain confesses, I like to wear a skirt." Wonderful days. Actually, I've got something for you.
Yes?
Which is to do with the Paralympics, which
I was going to mention them, actually, yeah.
Well, a couple of things. First of all, their closing ceremony, which I understand was, you know, quite a festive thing, except for this particular bit, which strikes me as being a very sombre, mournful piece of music. Can we just roll that piece of footage? This is part of the closing ceremony. Look at this. He's sitting in a pile of bones.
No, they're artificial limbs, I think.
Oh, he's playing vertebrae. I mean, it's not exactly celebratory music. The only thing I can assume is that the next Paralympics, the whole slogan of it is show a bit of backbone. It's just...
But don't harp on it.
No, don't harp on it. The thing, actually, I've had...
It was my line, it was mine.
No, you can boo that one as well if you like. The thing is, I've had several faxes this week, and I think this is starting...
Not more complaints about me.
No, I made those. And I think this is starting to seep through, actually, which is people want to know, how come 24 gold medal winning Paralympians aren't going to get golden Holdens?
There's too many of them, probably.
Well, very possibly, but General Motors Holden is the biggest company in the world. Yes, even bigger than whatever John Elliott ran into the ground. And, look, the thing is, I'm sure somebody from General Motors Holden is watching tonight. You know, you've stopped fiddling with the gadget like Paul Keating, and perhaps you'd like to contact us next week and just explain what particular production line the golden Holdens are stuck on. I'm sure that's all it is.
You're finished with your little say about the...
Yes, well, I must say that this was several people wrote to me and asked this question.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you finished with
I have finished,
right.
yes, thank you.
Because I had something that I found was a little bit of a highlight from the closing ceremony as well. Remember when we talked about the opening ceremony in Barcelona and we had that wonderful idea that they should have a whole, seeing it was in Barcelona, a whole bunch of Spanish waiters called Manuel running around?
Yeah.
Well, they didn't actually have that, and they didn't have it at the Paralympics, but they did have a band called the Manuels who definitely look like they're from Barcelona.
Oh, yes.
Hey, that looks like Gordon Elliott, that one, doesn't he?
There's Richard Clapton. Now, I'm sure I saw these guys get booed off Countdown 30 years ago. Well, actually, it's interesting to see them, Debbie, the Manuelos, because they are the sort of band...
I thought they were called the Manuels.
Or the Manuels, or whatever. They're the sort of band that could have done justice to one of the great songs, Stairway to Heaven. And Debbie, there's some very exciting news in the wind. Just watch this ad.
Ever had this problem? Can't seem to find another version of Stairway to Heaven when you need one? Well, throw away that old troublesome piece of entertainment and try the incredible new Stairways to Heaven CD, cassette or video from ABC TV's The Money or the Gun. 25 versions of this magnificent song. 25 classic artists like John Paul Young.
There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold and she's buying a stairway to heaven.
The totally funkrageous Kate Sobrano. Nick Barker and the Reptiles.
There's a lady who's sure.
The searing wobble board of Rolf Harris.
There's a lady who's sure.
The aching pathos of Leonard Teal.
There's a lady who knows all that glitters is gold, and she's buying a Stairway to Heaven.
And some fat guy that sounds like Elvis.
There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold.
But wait, there's more. Stairways to Heaven builds track by track into a very annoying album. Make any room interesting with Stairways to Heaven. And Stairways to Heaven is a whiz around the kitchen. It chops, it grinds, it slices, it juliennes. Out now, Stairways to Heaven. Available at all ABC shops and centres or wherever crap like this is sold.
Yes. Finally, after all those years, after literally 2 requests, we've got it together. There's the CD and the cassette with 22 versions, but for the real aficionados of Led Zeppelin, there's the video, which has all 25 versions, including the controversial pirate version by the Castaneda.
And it has the special souvenir long-haired John Paul Young, which you can't see anymore.
Yes, which he tried to have suppressed on legal grounds, and which we tried to have suppressed on taste grounds, but we couldn't. It is out on Monday, as we said, in all ABC centres and record and bookshops, and probably remaindered in bins near you very shortly. Stairways to Heaven at last. What a relief. Now, earlier this year, I had the privilege of going down to one of Australia's great but unheralded sporting events. It's the charity golf tournament put on by Jimmy Barnes and the Barrel Mafia called the Egg Cup. And here now are some highlights from that very special day.
Welcome to highlights and lowlights of the 6th annual Jimmy Barnes Invitation Golf Tournament, the Egg Cup, coming to you from the Barrel Golf Club in the beautiful Southern Highlands of New South Wales. A quick look at the leaders board for you now, and you can see all the big names are there. Bush, Yeltsin, John Major and Paul Keating tailing off down there at the bottom. Let's join our commentators now, Brian Crafter, Peter Thompson and special guest Darryl Eastlake. On this glorious par 5 10th hole now, and this is the tee shot for Jack Birmingham.
Oh, yes,
geez, given that
glorious.
something, Peter, that's a super shot.
This is a man who has won the Egg Cup 3 times.
Well, as you just heard his playing partner Jack Barnes say, he knows how to win this fellow. 3 times he's won this tournament.
And this is Jack Barnes now with his tee shot at the 10th.
Well, looks to be pretty good.
Oh, geez, I can get 2 in a row.
He's happy with that. Right, now this is Jack Johnston driving at the same hole.
Aye, son, aye.
Oh, that's a super tee shot, Jack Johnston. Oh, gee, he's seeing it as big as a soccer ball here today, Peter. Like his playing partner Jack Denton, I'm afraid, though. Really struggling here today, Denton. Let's see what he can do here. Well, the sad story continues for Denton, I'm afraid. As we go for the 15th green now, this is the American John Morse. Darryl Eastlake, here down there? Yeah, thanks, Brian. I'm standing right behind Johnny Morse here as he just taps this little 3-footer into... Oh, geez, missed it! Oh, gee, Johnny Morse, it was pretty careless stuff from the American. Oh, ha, ha. He's going to have to settle for a bogey now. This is very disappointing for... Oh, geez, missed that one too! Oh, street light moment put him off here.
Who is that asshole screaming? Well, now, here's an aerial shot of the par 411.
Okay, we're moving up now 40 yards, 50 yards, 60 yards each side of the creek. Good drive to carry the creek.
Yes.
Well, what's the length of this hole, please, Jim? It's hurting me.
Oh, here, can I help out here, Billy?
Thanks very much.
Keep going. This is actually 348 metres.
348 metres. I'd say you need about 120 to carry the creek.
Right.
And it's straight over the top of that willow tree down there.
Aerial view, Billy Birmingham.
Right, now, this is the tee shot of Jack Johnston on the par 4 13th.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that looks like it's going to be in pretty good shape. Oh, no, it's just pulled up short and to the right there in the Lebanese lawn.
Well, let's go up to 17 now. Big Darrell, what's happening there? Well, Craig Perry here with a huge putt. Oh, gee, must be 100 metres or more. Virtually impossible putt, Brian. He'd be happy just to get up and down in two from here. Oh, gee, second. Oh, Craig Perry, super putt. Oh, isn't he pumped up? Oh, gee. Now we're back on the 12th tee.
Would I press send? Hello? Greg, mate, yeah, it's a bit of a bad time. What? Well, the fact that it's cloudy at Augusta shouldn't put you off. The thing is, play your natural game, left hand down. Okay, sorry, mate, I've got to go. Yeah, got to go, bye.
Right, now, this is an aerial shot of this glorious 15th hole. Let's go to Big Darrell in the chopper. Yeah, thanks very much, Brian. Well, now, you can see that this 15th hole is pretty well clear for the first 250 metres or so. And then there's this huge mother of a rock slap bang in the middle of the fairway. Oh, gee, I tell you what, it's virtually impossible to... Oh, gee, the chopper's conking out. Oh, shit, we're going in for a close-up.
Hello? Yeah. Sevi? Not now, mate. Mate, it's, what? Look, the thing about the yips is they're in the mind. They're in the mind, you dumb Spanish bastard. Now, piss off. I'm sorry. Oh. I can't see. This is just like Jack Newton.
Well, now, just look at this, will you? Absolutely pissing down here at the 8th hole. This is quite incredible.
Oh, it's just amazing, isn't it, Peter? Everywhere else on the course it's as dry as a dead dingo's dick. It just seems to be the right moment.
Well, now, this 13th hole has been pretty badly damaged by that earlier shower.
Oh, my word it has, Peter. Just look at this green. It's absolutely submerged. We've got about 8 feet of water at the moment and it can be very tough to putt on. Well, Big Darrell Eastlake has been following around this group of Jack Denton, Jack Barnes, Jack Johnston and Jack Birmingham. Are you down there, big fella? Oh, shit, Brian, the f***ing accelerator's jammed on the f***ing golf cart. Oh, I can't stop the f***ing thing. Oh, gee, look out, fellas. Oh, get out of the f***ing way. Oh, look out, we're going for another close-up. Oh, gee, well, that could have been disastrous, Peter.
My word, it could.
How many Freudian analysts does it take to change a light bulb? 2. 1 to change the light bulb, 1 to hold the penis. The stepladder.
Oh, gee, well, he's a cool customer, isn't he, Denton? Only killed by a golf cart and he's still telling jokes, Peter.
Relay?
Were you using a Flight 100?
I was, actually.
You are again.
So that's a penalty stroke, is it?
Oh, yes, when you just chuck it down the fairway there without anyone...
For those who don't know, this is a penalty stroke.
All right, that's just cost you 2 shots, pal.
Right.
Well, now, this is Denton's 3rd shot at this par 4.
Well, continuing his sad tale of woe, Peter, he's let that get away to the right. He'll be a little bit disappointed with that.
And he's a little bit disappointed with that.
But at least he seems to be keeping it under control.
But he seems to be keeping it under control.
Oh, well, I might have spoken too soon there, Peter. Oh, golly.
Well, now, this is Jack Birmingham with his 2nd shot at the final hole.
Yes, Peter, now, with Big Darrell still out of action, I think Jack flies down there. What sort of shots he got here, Jack? Well, now, Peter Thompson, you speak fly. What's he saying there?
As a matter of fact, he's saying...
Gee, we could have trouble arguing with that, Peter. As we go up to this final green now, this is Jack Birmingham with a long putt to save his par.
Glorious, glorious.
He looks to have struck this pretty well. Come on, be good, baby. Be good, be good. Oh, well, that's a super putt, Jack Birmingham. And Jack Denton. Now, this is a tricky little downhill putt here, Peter. He's going to break pretty severely from his left to his right. Oh, it looks good. Has he given it enough? Has he given it enough? Oh, super putt, Denton.
One of the great things about today for me is the male bonding, the sense I've got a real closeness to Billy and to Craig. It's just been male bonding all afternoon, really, hasn't it?
Yeah. I'm male bonding.
Male bonding. Jimmy, I'm just talking about the male bonding that's been going on.
It's wonderful. It's been great. Don't kiss me again.
No. Come on. It's a very soccer thing to do.
And I think you'll all agree that was one of the most exciting tournaments ever presented on ABC television. And we hope you'll join us next year when we come back to Bowral to do it all over again in the Jimmy Barnes Invitational Golf Tournament for the Egg Cup.